All right. Hello, everybody. This is Starman, and welcome to the first chapter of the Pandora Directive Mission Street. Now, if you haven't already watched my Let's Plays for the Pandora Directive, Lombard Avenue, and Boulevard of Broken Dreams, you might want to watch those first. I've been filming these in a certain order, and you'll get a little bit more out of these videos if you watch those two first. First Lombard Street and Boulevard of Broken Dreams, because this Tex Murphy game is rather unique in that it was one of the first adventure games to give you multiple endings and alternate scenes based on the path you took through the game. In this case, the Lombard Street path is the neutral canon, this is the official Tex Murphy story type thing, where you take the middle of the road, you do a few questionable things in the name of being a private eye, but you're generally working for the cause of good and justice. Boulevard of Broken Dreams is what happens when you give up, the path of righteousness in favor of petty opportunism and being sarcastic and rude to everybody. And the path we're going to take in this playthrough is the most difficult one. In this one, we are going to be saintly and virtuous and happy and wonderful and try and do as much good as possible, not be disagreeable or rude to anybody, even if they deserve it, and generally be a, lawful good, paragon of virtue, shining knight in tarnished armor sort of thing. Yeah. So let's go ahead and start a new game. And we will start this one as good. And we will go ahead and do the entertainment level this time around. If you want to see the game player level, watch my playthrough for the Lombard Street path. Because I played through the full game player's level where you get a few more puzzles and a few incredibly annoying additions. But this one is going to be all about the story. So we're going to go ahead and focus on that. And as I said before, we've got the three possible things. We've got Mission Street, Lombard Street, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, good, neutral, evil. We're going to go for good. We're going to be the good guy this time around. Because, and this is your last chance before I get totally spoilerific if you haven't watched the first two video sets, so leave now or forever be spoiled. Alright. Now, when this game originally came out, it boasted 8 different endings, and technically that's true, but from another more technical viewpoint, there's only 6 different endings. The thing is that it says there's 2 endings for Mission Street, 2 endings for Lombard Street, and 4 endings for Boulevard of Broken Dreams. The truth is that 2 of the endings are recycled. So the Lombard Street path, you can play Boulevard of Broken Dreams most of the way, but then if you try and redeem yourself at the very end, you get an ending. If you do Lombard Street and are mostly good but then go fully evil at the end, you can get the best Boulevard of Broken Dreams ending. And if you do Mission Street all the way through but make a couple of choices wrong, you get the Lombard Street neutral ending instead. So in actuality, there's only one good ending, one neutral ending, one not so bad ending where you at least survive, and 3 endings where you get killed in a variety of different ways. Hubris catches up with you. So we've seen 5 of the 6 endings so far. This time we are going to use the Wayne's World parvalence, the Mega Happy ending. So with no further ado, let's go on to the opening movie.
You know, I'm turning 30 tomorrow. Did you know that?
Well, happy birthday. You know, I was just thinking you don't look a day over 25.
Liar. I don't know. I've just been feeling very stuck lately. You know, I cannot remember the last time I was surprised by anything. Can you?
The last time I was surprised was by you. Well, you know what I mean. I'm just surprised that we're able to stay good friends.
I've been thinking about moving. Maybe Phoenix. I've got an old college friend that lives down there, and she says it's nice. I think the change would do me good. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you'll love it down there, 'cause there's square dancing and 10-gallon hats and armadillo hunting.
And macho yokels with names like Tex.
Okay, that's yours.
So tell me, what do you think? You think I should go or not?
Well, you know, Arizona may seem like a much more exciting place than San Francisco, but it's dangerous down there. At least around here, you got your friends checking out for you.
It's dangerous everywhere. I mean, especially here. I mean, did you hear about that co-ed? Someone murdered her in her own bedroom.
I didn't hear about that. Who killed her?
Well, the newspaper said it might be a serial killer. They gave him some kind of crazy name. I don't know. I can't remember what they called him.
Doesn't that stuff scare you? I mean, I'm a tough guy, and it scares me.
I appreciate your concern, Tex, but I have been fine on my own for a long time. Looks like the rain's letting up. I'm going home.
Got a big date?
Oh, yeah. Cary Grant and a pint of Haagen-Dazs. Hold me down. I'll see you later.
What a schmuck.
What?
Chelsea was giving you opportunities all evening and you blew every one of them. The son PI you are. Well, you wouldn't know a clue if it walked up and punched you in the face.
Listen, all I know is, every time I try and ask her out, she turns me down.
It's from the distinguished gentleman in the corner.
You bought me a drink?
He bought you a bourbon.
Oh, good evening, good evening. Gordon Fitzpatrick is my name. Please sit down, sir. You know, I am not in the habit of eavesdropping, but I do believe I heard someone say that you were a private detective.
That's right. I'm a licensed private investigator.
Oh, delightful. It's a pleasure indeed to meet you. And your name?
Murphy. Tex Murphy.
Tex Murphy. Well. This is fine. Now, listen, let me ask you this, Mr. Tex Murphy. Have you in your work ever had the occasion to seek for a missing person?
Sure. I can do that.
Well, then perhaps we could do some business.
I think we can work something out. My office is just around the corner, the Ritz Hotel.
Why don't we go there? I like your office. Oh, yes, the ambiance is very authentic. Reminds me of those, those old detective stories that I used to watch when I was a kid. I'm sure that at any moment, Sam Spade is going to come marching through that door, but then who needs Sam Spade when I've got Tex Murphy standing in front of me? Did you always want to be a private eye?
As far back as I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you have a seat, Mr.
Thank you.
Fitzpatrick? Yeah? While all the other kids were logged on to Sesame Street Interactive, I was reading Hammett and Chandler.
It must be quite an exciting life.
Oh, it's got its moments. Don't get me wrong, it's not like the movies. It sure as hell doesn't pay very well. But it suits me. So what can I do for you, Mr. Fitzpatrick?
Well, I'm trying to find an old acquaintance of mine, Thomas Malloy, Dr. Thomas Malloy. The last official address for him that I have is the Ritz Hotel. Now, do you happen to know him?
Can't say that I do.
Well, it's very important that I find him. You know, let me give you a little background. For many years, I was a research scientist and I worked alongside Dr. Malloy. But about 20 years ago, maybe, I guess something like that, our paths diverged and I lost touch with him, and he with me. And then very recently, I saw a photograph of him in a local newspaper. Now, it's a strange thing how time is such a natural equalizer, makes us appreciate the faces from one's past. At any rate, the older gentleman in that photograph is Dr. Malloy. And I contacted the newspaper to find out where the photograph had been taken. It was at the San Francisco Technical University. Well, I hiked right out there, got to the campus, and decided to look the man up and surprise him. Even with that photograph, no one recognized him, no one knew his name. But then I received a strange phone call by a young woman named Sandra. The man I knew as Thomas Malloy, she knew as Tyson Matthews. She seemed quite uncomfortable talking on the vid phone, so I suggested we meet. She never showed up for that appointment.
And you never heard from her again?
You know, it's strange. But this simple, whimsical wish of mine to get together with my old friend has materialized into, I don't know, I feel a sense of impending doom. I fear for the young woman, and I fear for my friend, Dr. Malloy.
It sounds interesting. I think I can look into this for you.
Thank you. Now, you'll have to refresh my memory. How much is your fee? How does it work?
I charge $500 a day.
Of course.
Plus expenses.
Naturally. There, that should be enough to get you started. And here somewhere, there you go. I could be reached at that number.
I'll be in touch.
I feel we're off to a good start.
Not Mr. Fitzpatrick. This is the first cash I've had in months. $4 grand. I owe Louis $200, and Rook says I owe him $300. But there should be plenty left over. Yes, sir. Things are definitely looking up.
All right, well, here we are, day one, the search for Malloy. Not much of a title as far as these things go, but it's a start.
Fitzpatrick didn't give me much to go on. Just the newspaper photo of Malloy and the fact that Malloy stayed here at the Ritz. And there's that girl Fitzpatrick referred to, Sandra. Maybe I can track her down. First, I need to find out which apartment Malloy was staying in and then get into it. That means I gotta deal with Nilo, my landlord. It's the second week of April, and I'm a little late on my February rent payment.
All right. Well, here we are in Tex's new and improved apartment.
I'll pick up these clothes next time I'm expecting someone else in my bedroom. Yeah, fat chance of that. My parents found this in the attic and sent it to me. I remember the pastoral days of my early youth, riding on my trusty Mount Striper, chasing bank robbers and horse thieves. And all that came to an end one summer afternoon during an electrical storm. The lightning struck a transformer near our home, creating a tremendous power surge. It was after the accident that my brothers and sisters started calling me Tex. Whenever I asked them, they'd just laugh and wink at each other. I never did find out about that nickname.
And now you know the rest of the story. Yeah, those of you who played my Under a Killing Moon retrospective probably note that this is much bigger than what Tex had before.
This is the certificate and a copy of the check the Mutant League gave me after my last case. I used the cash to expand my office, buy some furniture, and pay off my debts. That left me with $4.12.
Yeah, a little bit of a continuity note, and a little bit of a change from the game mythology there, because Tex wound up working that whole case to save the world in Under a Killing Moon basically for free. But in the novelization of Under a Killing Moon, they bring in the Mutant League, and they do recruit Tex to look into it. So, and a nice thing about buying this game series from Good Old Games is that they give you the PDFs of the tie-in Tex Murphy novels to the various games, if there was a tie-in novel. All written by Aaron Connors, the head writer on all the games from Under a Killing Moon onward. So, you know, that's a nice little bonus.
Soap on a rope. Grandpa Murphy buys this for all the grandkids every Christmas.
And yeah, there's the way back to Tex's office. And that leads out to the hallway. And another little add-on to Tex's apartment. We've got a brand new study / rec room / computer room.
I cut this thing out of the paper a few days ago. I've known Mac Malden for years. We've worked together on several cases, but I don't know if we're actually friends. We just help each other out occasionally.
And that gives us a few points, but also lets us remember Max so that we can go and talk to him about some things later on. And the old office has been improved. We've now got walls installed to create a foyer of sorts. Oh, and the guitar is new.
I got this from my grandpa, Audie Murphy. It was signed by Richie Havens. Grandpa said he was the original singing detective.
Yeah, Richie Havens did some original music for this game. Unfortunately, apart from the closing credits, you only hear his music when you're playing the bad guy path. And I think I may have said Richie Valens in there when I was playing through it, instead of Richie Havens, which I do apologize for.
I've had this jackknife ever since my Weeblos days.
It's funny, usually it switches right to that one.
Eat the rich dog food. A little gamey, but not bad for the price.
And somehow that was worth 5 points. So yeah, just a reminder that if we don't get to work, we're going to be stuck eating that dog food. Oh, and another little change. Mustache has been drawn on this picture of Tex's ex-wife.
Between my wedding ring and this picture of my ex-wife Sylvia, I will never, ever forget that women are alien creatures capable of great destruction. This picture was taken of my ex-wife on her 25th birthday. Yeah, she was gorgeous. Makes me wonder sometimes why we couldn't make it work.
I think that was put in there purely because in 1996 it was required that all video games show they could produce a rendered 3D direct.
Another bill from the electronics shop. I can't believe they expect me to pay for the junk they sell.
Alright, well, let's check this out. This notice is to inform you your account is delinquent, must be paid immediately. If payment is not received within 3 hours of this notice, it will be sent to the Body Parts Collection Agency for immediate action. Okay, definitely need to work on that.
My knife used to have all the cool attachments. Now everything's busted off except the pliers and the standard screwdriver head.
Alright.
So Fitzpatrick's staying at the Savoy. Guess I can call him on my vid phone if I need to talk with him.
And just shuffle through that lovely, lovely pile. So I got that. There's the photo of Malloy.
My trusty electronics shop credit card. The only way to go when you're out of cash.
Which for Tex is always.
I cut this thing out of the paper a few days ago. I've known Mac Malden for years. We've worked together on several cases, but I don't know if we're actually friends.
Yeah. Alright, well that, shockingly enough, is all we need from our office at the moment.
Chandler Avenue recently got a city-funded cleanup. Now the street's darn near clean enough to eat off.
Yes, and when we go out there, we will see that there are all manner of fences blocking off where the radioactive refuse used to be. But we're not going to get a chance to do that this time, because in entertainment mode, the minute we leave our office, we are going to shuffle directly across the street to Chelsea.
I should probably stop by the newsstand and see if Chelsea's upset with me about last night. I've been trying to get her to go out with me for years now, and just when I think I might be getting somewhere, I stick my big foot in my mouth. Well, now I got some money, and maybe she'll give me another chance to let me take her out to dinner.
Hi, Tex.
Alright, now this is where we start making our first actions toward being a better man. In this case, we start with an apology, or the best thing that Tex can make toward sounding like he's, apologetic.
Hey, I'm sorry about last night.
Is that so? Why?
Orthopedic humor, turn the tables. We're gonna go for the smile.
Playing hard to get, huh? Okay, I'll play your little game.
I'm not in the mood, Tex. You know, this is not a game to me. I have a lot of big decisions to make, and maybe I need to get away to make them.
Try to be thoughtful for once.
Hey, everybody needs some space sometimes. Go if you have to, but I'll be waiting when you get back.
Thanks, Tex. I'll keep that in mind. So what's up?
Well, assertive, not the way to go. She doesn't like pushy. Finding a loophole, gonna seem Weasley. Despite our best judgment, we are going to play this sly.
Well, I got a bunch of cash, but I got nothing to do with it. I figured I'd go out to dinner tonight, but I hate to eat alone. Are you interested?
What, like a date?
And, of course, we will downplay that part.
No, it'd be more like two friends having a great meal and maybe some stimulating conversation.
I guess that'd be okay. I mean, yeah, that'd be all right. You know, Tex, I haven't really been myself lately, and I really appreciate you looking out for me.
Where should we go? How about Burger Barn? They got great atmosphere at half the price.
I've got a better idea. Why don't you let me make you dinner at my place? It's cheaper than going out. And besides, I have something I'd like to talk to you about. Let's say 8 o'clock?
Well, you talked me into it, Miss Bell.
Well, I feel so spoiled.
By the way, what should I bring? Red or white?
You better bring both.
Finally. After years of relentless pursuit, Chelsea's inviting me over to her apartment for dinner. Oh man, the possibilities are making me woozy. Okay, snap out of it, Murphy, and let's get back to work here. Maybe I should head over to the Ritz and see if Nilo's at the front desk. I'm sure he'll be happy to see me.
Hold it right there, you sneaking piece of slop.
Now, Nilo, we're going to have to go as polite as possible on this one, obviously.
Hello, Nilo. Good to see you, too.
Ain't we polite today? Strolling in here like some kind of sunbeam from heaven. Tell you what, fork over the money you owe me, and I won't kick your butt all the way out into the street.
Well, can't get more fair than that.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Now maybe you can answer a few questions for me.
No comprendi. Yeah. That's better, amigo.
Okay, we will just go straight forward and go with the newspaper photo.
Recognize the man in this photo?
Yeah, I seen him before.
What can you tell me about him?
He used to stay here. Gone now.
Which room did he stay in?
Hey,
What name did he use when he signed in?
Matthews. Tyson Matthews.
Okay. Well, thanks for the help.
Oh, the pleasure was all mine. P-Brain.
Apartment A is through the door by Nilo's desk and up the stairs. Nilo's had a hard time keeping tenants, so Malloy was probably the last person to stay in the room. Hopefully I'll find a lead once I get inside.
But one thing we must do before we go upstairs.
Sheesh. This sandwich is about as fresh as Nilo's undershirt.
2 points is 2 points.
So, this is where Malloy stayed. The beginning of the trail.
Unfortunately, we can't just walk right in there because of this.
What a scumbag. Nilo knew I couldn't get into the apartment without the code, and now he'll probably want to charge me a few $100 for it. At this rate, I'm gonna be broke again in a hurry.
Or we would be if we had any intention of paying him. Because just because we're playing the good guy path does not mean we have to put up with being cheated.
What do you want? I'm busy here.
There's something I forgot to ask you. I figure I paid you enough already, so you owe me.
Well, you figured wrong. You're off by about $500.
Come on, Nilo. You've cleaned me out already. I haven't even got enough money left to buy food.
Oh, boo-hoo. Here, let me give you some back. Ah, you didn't say the magic word. What a sap. So, what do you want to know? How to spot a sucker a mile away? Sucker a mile away, I like that.
Okay, we lost a bit of dignity, but at least we're not having to pay more of our money on this.
Never heard of him. I ain't familiar with that name. Nope. We only stayed here a couple of weeks. Paid up front for 2 months. But he's too late to get a refund. What are you asking about me for? Want to ask me out on a date?
And yeah, thankfully...
Nyla looks around like he's about to sell some government secret and then lets me take a peek in his special notebook. The code is 4827.
Yeah, thankfully we do not have to deal with him anymore after this, apart from one thing to get karma points. I could run through and ask about everybody in the neighborhood, but I don't really feel like having to talk to Nylo any more than I have to. If you want to see me run through all the conversation options with Nylo, again, you can watch the Lombard Street playthrough. But here we go. No. All right, well, that brings us to the start of day 2. Ladies in waiting. Nice wind chimes there.
My head feels like it's full of molasses. Yeah, another swell case for San Francisco's favorite punching bag. I suppose the fact that someone knocked me out must mean I'm on the right track. Whoever hit me did a thorough job. Must have interrupted his search of the apartment. Maybe that means he overlooked something.
And this is where we will pick things up from next time.